breakdown. Tickets are quasi-civil. It appears to be something it's not. So your reference video is going to be tickets are quasi-civil, appears to be something it's not. So 15 U.S. Code 2007, imprisonment for a debt in accordance with 25 CFR 11.404, false imprisonment. This is going to go for child supports, tickets, traveling amongst countries to country, which is state to state, you guys. How and why is what you should be asking yourself. How did you go to jail for an alleged debt or to be threatened with jail for a debt? Tickets are quasi-civil, quasi-defined, as if, as it were. It appears to be criminal, but it is not in simplest term. Know your rights. This is biblical. It's a trap. Registered cattle. We are all registered cattle until you go ahead and you correct some things, okay? We're just merely debt slaves walking around, literally dollar signs. Breakdown of this thing called court. Court is your paperwork, not the temple they want to test you at. They want you on their home turf. The judge is in black robe because he is a priest and referee. His job on the banco, aka bench, is to keep the flow of currency because money should constantly be in flow. Yes, when you walk in that temple, you are currency, a dollar sign. Unless you know your position as holder in due course, you are and will be plucked, which is really effed, okay? As you read, you will understand the game these people play and know your power. You must always let them know who you are, because when you go to the temple, you are now in their jurisdiction and you are civiliter mortuus. You are civilly dead. You have no rights. Your power as holder in due course kills all that presumption. You have the last say-so in this contract. This wonderful instrument can easily be discharged if that is what you want as holder in due course to this unknown contract. Justice, Banco. If you do not know your position, how can you play it? Okay, so this is the Council of District of Columbia. Okay, now this is going to be for unconscionable contract or clause. So the code is really 2-302. Every state has this code. So what you are going to do, you are going to find this code for your state because this is what I used for my ticket, okay? Now, unconscionable contract or clause. Number one, if the court as a matter of law finds the contract or any clause of this contract to have been unconscionable at the time it was made, the court may refuse to enforce the contract or it may enforce the remainder of the contract without unconscionable clause, or it may so limit application of any unconscionable clause as to avoid any unconscionable results. Number two, when it is claimed or appears to the court that the contract or any clause thereof may be unconscionable, the party shall be afforded a reasonable opportunity to present evidence as to its commercial setting, purpose, and effect to aid the court in making the determination. Okay, so we read it there. If I don't have full disclosure of no damn contract, it's all bad. It's Michael Jackson bad because as a holder in due course, you should at all time have full, and I mean full disclosure of any contract. Okay, 28 USC Code 2007, imprisonment for debt. Okay, A person shall not be imprisoned for debt on a writ of execution or other process issued from a court of the United States in any state wherein imprisonment for debt has been abolished. All modifications, conditions, and restrictions upon such imprisonment provided by the state law shall apply to any writ of execution to process issued from a court of the United States in accordance with the procedure applicable in such states. Any person arrested or imprisoned in any state on a writ of execution or other process issued from any court of the United States in the civil action shall have the same jail privileges and be governed by the same regulations as persons confined in like cases on process issued from the courts of such state. The same requirements governing discharge as an applicable in such state shall apply. Any proceedings for discharge shall be conducted before a United States magistrate judge for the judicial district wherein the defendant is held. Okay, you guys read it, imprisonment for a debt. Like I said, you guys can Google it, but that's what it is. Okay, 3-302, holder in due course. Same thing, you guys. Every state will have this code, okay? You just have to find your state and hold and the holder in due course. So you could simply, you can do 3-302 holder in due course, and then you can put your state, and it should pop up, okay, you guys? Now, I am not going to read this. I have a toothache and it's a struggle just to get through this. So you guys should be able to read this yourself, okay? 3-302 holder in due course. Google it. Player, I reserve my rights on everything. Holder in due course. UCC 1-308, UCC 2-302. Thou will abate that ass. Abatement. Abatement refers to the act of reducing or nullifying something. Multiple subjects throughout law are subject to abate, and the term appears in many locations. So you guys go ahead and look this up, okay? Google it. Today is not get played today. As beneficiary, you are holder in due course of any instrument. If we do not have full disclosure, we do not contract. UCC 2-302. Okay, now this is the thing. You guys need to know your position. So I've seen court cases, especially with sovereign citizens, where these sovereign citizens, they want to bring up moot points, okay? And they want to argue and let the courts know that they're beneficiary. It's a way you let these courts know that you're beneficiary, okay? So at the end of the day, you are beneficiary of the trust, okay? The attorneys, the judge, they are all trustees, okay? Trustees pay all bills, and I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, court is your paperwork. A lot of things I handle through the mail. No need to go to their playground to play their game. If you know who you are and who they are, you can properly play the game when or if you are forced to. You never go into court to argue about the Constitution or any private matter. I have seen sovereign citizens go argue private matters in a public venue. For one, you are either sovereign or a citizen. You cannot be both. Most think they are above law when we follow law as real sovereigns are peaceful and lawful. Next, if your paperwork is done properly, they will know your standings and who you are. The judge had to ask me for permission to move. He had no jurisdiction over me. It was because how I filled out my paperwork. Because once you go to the courthouse, which is the temple, they automatically have jurisdiction over you. Regardless of reserving your rights walking through the metal detectors, I've seen and heard a lot of nonsense. You guys must understand there are many ways to contract. I'm just a guidepost. You guys need to do your own due diligence, okay? But what I will say, however, is you got to know your position, okay? And your position is you are the beneficiary. They are the trustees. Now, if so many people did not abuse law and just abuse the system, period, I would show you guys how to kill a ticket or anything in court in just a few words, but I cannot do that. So you guys need to learn and do your own diligence. But it starts right here. This is the blueprint. You are the holder in due course. You have the last say so. Like I said, when you go to these courts, it should show in your paperwork who you are. For example, and I'm still trying to find this video. When I went to court, the judge, it was so many people in the courtroom. So the judge, he calls my name. He was so freaking rude to me, you guys. He was like, well, sit down. And so everybody, they're looking at me like I'm a criminal, like I did something wrong. And I'm even confused. Like, why is he so mean to me? I haven't did shit to this man. So after everybody was left out the courtroom, all the public, the only people that was in the courtroom was the attorneys, me, and the judge. Everybody else, which would be considered public, they were out of there. So then the judge, he asked me for permission. He explained everything to me, and then he told me I cannot move until you give me permission. So after I had full understanding of the contract and what was going on, I granted them permission. After I granted them permission, they hurry up and changed my paperwork, which gave them jurisdiction over me. And I will leave it at that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, I'm nothing but a guidepost, nothing more, nothing less. I'm out. Bye.